This is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we are specifically going to talk about how we portray fathers in our Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. So I'm getting prepared for Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, which I'm extremely excited about. Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny is Indiana Jones 5. And I'm really excited about it, and so I've been preparing for it. I've been I watched Indiana Jones 1, Raiders of the Lost Ark, on the big screen, and I was really excited about it, and really, it was wonderful to see it on the big screen again. And then I watched, Indiana Jones 2, 3, and 4 on Disney Plus, which I have, and they dropped all of them on there specifically to let people get ready for Indiana Jones 5, and so I was really excited, and I really liked it, and I was really excited about it. And so one thing that really struck me was that in Indiana Jones 3, The Last Crusade, there is a discussion that the film has about fatherhood, and it makes it very clear that Henry Jones Sr., Indiana Jones' father, who's played expertly by Sean Connery, that he did nothing to care for the emotional stability, the mental stability of his son. What he did as a father was he provided for Indy's mother, and he provided for Indy everything that he needed financially, and then he also made sure that Indy was very well educated. But there's literally, he has a discussion with Indy, and he says, I didn't make sure that you got to bed on time. I didn't tell you to eat up. He's like, I built into you self-reliance. And he was saying, I held things back for you. I made sure that you never wanted for food, clothing, or shelter. And he's also saying, I made sure that you had everything you needed academically and provisionally, right? Like the lower tiers of Maslow's hierarchy and the higher tiers. But I never cared for you emotionally. I never really cared for your mental health, I never hugged you. I never told you I loved you. Like you can almost, list it off, right? Also, I instilled in you religion, which you have rejected, right? And it was really, and so I even cared for you spiritually. I just didn't care for you emotionally or mentally, right? But then the movie very clearly shows that Indy's rock solid, man. Indy's like a king, right? He's an action king, he's just super dopey. Like, can I beat 300 or 30 Nazis today? He's a hero, right? So the movie is saying very clearly that Indiana Jones is a well-adjusted man, and that Henry Jones did his job as a father and was a good father. So I loved the picture that this movie showed of Indiana Jones, and I really loved the picture of fatherhood that Indiana Jones portrays, right? And it's not just the third movie. The third movie does this most directly, but it's a tremendous film, and it's a beautiful depiction of fatherhood. How should we portray fathers in Dungeons and Dragons? Well, I'm not actually going to even tell you how to do that today. What I'm going to do is, this is Scott Garibay. We discussed D&D meta here. I'm going to tell you that it's tied to alignment, right? So whatever behavior you attach to a good aligned father, you're saying this is good. Whatever behavior you attach to a neutral aligned father, you're saying this could be good or bad. And whatever fatherhood behavior you attach to an evil character, that's important too, right? So it's very interesting. You have to be very careful how you portray this material, and do a very careful, good job of portraying this in the right manner, right? Very fascinating. I really am just absolutely in love with the movies right now. They really are just amazingly fantastic. So be careful how you portray fathers in Dungeons and Dragons. Make sure you're aware of like the behavior that you're attaching to entities, non-player characters in Dungeons & Dragons as their fathers, that what you want to portray a good person would do, what you would want to portray a neutral person would do, what you want to portray an evil person would do. And that's another thing I think I really like about Dungeons & Dragons is Dungeons & Dragons is art, and it's also a formal experimentation engine, in my humble opinion. And it's saying clearly there are good people, there are evil people, and there are neutral people. And the reality is, the reality is we're all loved by God. And so I think in real life we really don't have good, neutral, and evil people. But this is an experimentation engine. It allows us to look at people in a different way. And these buckets are useful for narrative constructs. I think they're also useful for learning things, right? And it's a deeper discussion, but be careful as you proceed. Make sure that the things you want to align with good fatherhood align with your good alignment characters, and what you want to align with evil people, that their fatherhood behavior is evil, right? Be careful about that, because Indiana Jones 3 shows us that as artists we have something to say about fatherhood. And I'm eager to hear what you have to say about fatherhood. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. I would really, is my humble opinion. What I'd really like to hear is what you have to say. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.